Okay, so I just had the absolute worst experience I've ever had in any store ever. I went in to my local tobacco store to buy my cigarettes because I'm a horrible person and I smoke. Anyway, so I go in, I drive all the way from my house, which is about 8 miles out of the way, one way. So I go into the store and I'm getting ready to ring up, and the girl asked me if I needed anything else, and I jokingly said, well, it'd be rude to come into a tobacco store and just buy a drink. And she giggled and said people do it all the time. And I said, okay, yeah, I need 2 packs, blah, blah. And then I said, I've got 2 coupons, one for $1.50 off and one for $1 off. So she goes and gets it. And then she's like, I can't take 2 coupons on this. And I was like, I don't understand, because they do it all the time. Found out it's the manager that's been doing it all the time, but I don't know what the deal is. I don't know where the communication breakdown is, and I don't care, because it's not about them. Not about that. Anyway, so we get into this argument, and I didn't intend for it to be an argument. I was like, oh, well, that's strange, because she said she couldn't stack the coupons, but then I said, well, that's strange, because every time I come in here, they always do it. And she's like, who is they? And I was like, the people that work here. The other people that work here. So she's like, okay, well, no, I don't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. And I was like, okay, fine. I just thought it was strange that you're the first person I've run into, and I've come here for years. And I was like, I've never seen you. I didn't know if you were new. And she said, I've been here for a while. And I said, okay. And all right. And then she kept going about she can't stack the coupons. And I was like, I just don't understand. And I kept saying, I don't understand, because I didn't understand how she wasn't allowed to. I didn't know if a policy had changed or what. I just wanted to understand it. That's it. So I asked her, but did something change? I didn't know. If she's been here for a while, then certainly she would know that. But she is so defensive at this point. She says, I just can't do it. And I was like, I understand, but I don't understand why the difference. I just wanted to understand. That's it. I don't mean anything malicious. It's just I want to understand. So she said, I just pulled up in my driveway. Anyway, so I am like, okay, fine. I just couldn't get past. I couldn't understand it. Okay, fine. But whatever. And she starts getting snotty with me. And says, well, if you don't want to buy them, then fine. You can do 2 transactions. And I was like, no, because you buy 2 packs, you get a discount. And then whenever you add on the coupon, you get that discount as well. Stacking coupons. Okay. So she wanted to split up my transaction for whatever reason. I don't know if it's, trying to meet a quota or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't care. But, so she starts getting an attitude, and I was like, okay, fine. And I stepped away. She was walking off from the counter with the cigarettes in hand, and I walked towards the door. I was like, I just don't understand. I just couldn't get my head around it. I didn't understand it. That's it. I've had 3 fucking brain surgeries. I don't understand everything all the time. That's why I ask questions. Duh. It's what humans do. So, anyway, she goes on, and I was like, I guess I'll just call the manager and ask her. Because I'm thinking maybe the store is losing money or something. If they've got a rogue employee that's stacking coupons and they're not supposed to. I've owned a business. I know this shit happens. It's okay. Just being aware. That's it. Just trying to be nice. Anyway. So, she goes on. And goes on. Just kind of muttering under her breath. And she goes to I was like, fine, I'm leaving. And she was like, okay, well, you can call my manager. I was like, okay. So she said, call my manager. And I was like, okay. So she's standing there. She puts soda and she turns around and looks at me like I just slapped her fucking kid and says, she's just kind of snarling at me. And I was like, are you going to call your manager? I would like for you to call your manager. Something to that effect. And she was like, okay, I'll do that. She immediately starts painting me as a horrible person. I just wanted to understand. That's all. That's it. I wasn't calling to report her. I was calling her to just let her know that there was some inconsistency in practice. I wasn't being ugly. I used to be an ugly motherfucker. I did. I'll own that all goddamn day. But you have a couple life affirming events and you change your mindset a bit. You still want to be that rowdy as hell bitch, but you also want to live. So there's that. Any frickin' way. So at this point, I'm waiting for her to come across the counter at me because I'm just like dumbfounded that she escalated so quickly. And oddly enough, she's got her manager on the phone. She's painting me as a horrible person. I was like, no, I come in here all the time. And the manager was like, I know who you are. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I just didn't understand. And that's all I was asking, is if something had changed, because she said she'd been there a while, so I was kind of processing what she said. Anyway, it's called cognitive thought. I can do that sometimes. But anyway, so the manager and I are trying to talk, and this girl's steadily giving me dirty looks, steadily making snarky freaking comments, and I'm like, I don't know what the problem is. I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is. And she's just going on. I told you I can't. And my manager just confirmed that. I was like, I know. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Because I wasn't mad about it. I was frustrated that I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. So, fine. Okay. So, she's unleashing all of her fuckiness. And I was like, you know what? She's like, so, are you making a transaction or not? While she's on the phone with her fucking manager. And then, I was like, you know what? Your attitude sucks. No. And she was like, just before I got to there, she was like, get out of my store then. I was like, I am at the door. Fucking brat. And she's like, you're a bitch. And I yelled back in the door, yes, I am. So, whenever you see that I'm a raving fucking cunt, just know that I was not being ugly. Ugly looks a lot worse than that. So, no. I was seeking clarification, understanding. It's called having a brain. But I did make the comment about you've been watching probably been watching too much TikTok because you think you deserve to be treated like some kind of way in your fucking job. She's like, you don't even know what I was watching. And that's when she yelled at me, get out of the store. And I was like, I'm already leaving. Fuck. Anyway. Quick 9-minute rant. Peace.